Hello, my name is Jean Quintus, and I am publishing a new fly every month on my website www.meckejang.lu. You see it there.
The fly of the month of May 2018 is a salmon fly, Finn's Longtail. To tie this fly we will use a double salmon hook in size 6 up to 14. The thread will be medium black thread. For the tail we will use magenta fox and magenta cock quills. For the ribbing we will use a twisted gold wire. The rear body will be made with gold tinsel. The center hackle will consist of a green badger cock feather. The front body will be made with black floss. For the wing we will use magenta arctic fox and magenta crystal flash. The first hackle will be made with a magenta badger cock feather, the cheeks with jungle cock feathers, and the second hackle with a silver badger cock feather. Tie in the thread at the eye of the hook and wind it in close turns to the beginning of the curvature of the hook. Cut off the excess of tying thread. Then we will tie in the tail of the fly, which consists of magenta dyed arctic fox hair. The length of the tail should be approximately the length of the hook shank. Cut off the excess of the fox hair and then prepare a magenta dyed cock feather. Remove all the fibers on one side and then cut it off in such a way that a tip remains on the quill. Tie it in on the side of the hook shank with the concave side facing outwards. In the same way we will fix a second cock quill on the opposite side of the hook shank. Cut off the excess of the cock quills and then we will tie in a second bunch of magenta fox hair on top of the first one. Cut off the excess . Then we will tie in the silver twisted ribbing wire and secure it over the whole length of the hook shank. Wind the thread back to the middle of the hook shank and tie in the golden tinsel. If you are using silver gold, then tie it in with the silver side up so that the gold side will come out when you wind the body. wind the tinsel backwards to the beginning of the tail and then again to the middle of the hook shank. Tie it off. And cut off the excess. Then we will rib the ribbing wire to the middle of the hook shank. Tie it off. And flip it in direction of the eye of the hook. Next will be to tie in the middle hackle. We tie it in with the tip, fold back the tip, secure the tip and tear off the tip or cut it off. Using your scissors, brush over the quill to move the fiber tips to the rear side. Then clamp the quill of the feather into your hackle pliers and wind 2 turns of wet hackle with the feather. Secure the feather with 2 or 3 turns of tying thread. Cut off the excess of the feather and fold the ribbing wire backwards to the hook points. Wind the thread to the eye of the hook and tie in the black uni-stretch or tinsel. Wind the front part of the body with the uni-stretch or tinsel to the beginning of the middle hackle and then back to the eye of the hook. Tie off the uni-stretch, winding 2 or 3 turns of your tying thread around it and then tying it in. Cut off the excess. Fold back the ribbing wire to the front and wind the front ribbing. Tie off the wire. Flip it to the front so that you create a kink of the wire and tie off the tip of this kinked wire. Now we will tie in the first part of the wing, which is also consisting of magenta fox hair. We'll tie it in with the points pointing into direction of the eye of the hook. Cut off the excess and flip back the points of the fox hair. Tie in now the crystal flash by flipping it around from the rear side around the tying thread and moving it up on top of the hook shank to fix it. Trim off the excess, and then we will tie in a second bunch of Arctic fox hair for the wing. Cut off the excess. Tie in the magenta cockhackle. It is a badger magenta cockhackle by its tip. Fold back the tip, secure it, tear it off or cut it off. If you tear it off, you have to keep some tension on your thread. Then brush with your scissors over the quill to get the fiber tips folding to the back of the feather quill. Clamp the quill in your hackle pliers and wind 2 turns of wet hackle with this feather. Tie off the feather and cut off the excess of the feather. Then we will tie in 2 jungle cock feathers as cheeks. Bring them in position. Wrap your thread over the feather. Check for the position of the feather, then fold back the quills and tie over the quills, just to secure the cheeks. Cut off the excess. Then we will tie in a silver badger cock feather with its tip, the same way than we did with the magenta one. Tie it in, fold back the tip, secure the tip, tear off the tip, keeping tension on your thread. Get the fiber tips pointing to the rear by brushing over the quill with your scissors. Clamp the quill into your hackle pliers and wind 2 turns of wet hackle with a feather. Tie off the feather and cut off the excess of the feather. Wind the head of the fly
my sweetheart enlisted a soldier
whip finish.
Sad was the moment when he had to leave me, and vainly I tried to hide from him my tears. I thought of
And
the
cut
day
off the thread.
we had to encounter, but dared not at parting to tell him my fears. He forbade
Apply
me
a
to
drop of
sorrow,
UV
and
glue
tried to
on the
console
head.
me. I promised to do as he wished for his sake, as I followed him far on the way from a valley.
And cure the UV glue with your UV lamp.
Poor heart would break.
You can download the detailed tying instructions for this fly and for all the previous ones on my website www.meckejang.lu. Leave a message in a guest book with your email address and I will send you a mail every time a new fly is published. See you and tight lines!